left, right, left, right.
Right.
For all the
So this went to
soldiers marching.
France? This drum went to France?
This drum went to France. This was used then as a communion drum for the soldiers. They would have laid the drum down this way. The padre would have put his white linen cloth across the drum, and then he would have conducted the communion service. This went
All through the war?
all through the war, and now I have some photographs here and some information.
Right.
And if you scan away down here, you'll find
William Blair, W. Blair,
Yep.
attached
Attached to
15th Company.
Royal Army Medical Corps.
By 1914, Protestant loyalists and Catholic nationalists were on the brink of civil war. But this conflict was delayed by a far more terrible one, the First World War. In 1914, William Blair was a flute player in the Hamilton Marching Band, which led the Orange Lodge parades. David knows that William fought in the war.
Billy.
Yes, David.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Very
So he's come to Londonderry's Protestant Cathedral to ask band member Billy Cairns about how William became a soldier.
I'm on the trail now of the Hamilton Marching Band.
Yep.
Which
Well,
I'm led to believe that my great-grandfather was
part of,
involved
yes,
in, yeah.
It was indeed.
So as soon as war broke out, they signed up, did they?
Yep.
It was immediate?
Yeah, they signed up. You know, you have to remember, in those days, there wasn't much work about.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it was common belief that they would be home by Christmas.
Of course, of course.
And here there's no work. They had the opportunity of getting a uniform, boots, pay, and a trip to France, which must have sounded really smashing.
Sure.
The people with no work in those days. And little did they know what was in front of them, of course.
Right.
Now this is a
Right.
bass drum that would have sounded left, right, left, right.
Right.
For all the
So this went to
soldiers marching.
France? This drum went to France?
This drum went to France. This was used then as a communion drum for the soldiers. They would have laid the drum down this way. The padre would have put his white linen cloth across the drum, and then he would have conducted the communion service. This went
All through the war?
all through the war, and now I have some photographs here and some information. And if you scan away down here, you'll find
William Blair, W. Blair,
Yep.
attached
Attached to
15th Company.
Royal Army Medical Corps.
Thousands of young Protestant men signed up to fight for king and country, hoping this demonstration of loyalty would stop Home Rule. Marching band members like William, who became part of the 36th Ulster Division, automatically became stretcher bearers on the battlefield. By dawn on the 1st of July 1916, William was in the trenches of the Somme.
What would the experience of one of these band members, what would their personal experience have been of the Battle of the Somme?
Well, they would have been held back when the rest of the battalion went over the top that morning. No Man's Land was quite literally a hell because the number of casualties had become absolutely unbelievable.
So they're cowering in those trenches, hearing all this mayhem going on above them and being told that there's nothing they can do about it, just to sit tight.
That is quite literally it. They have to stay where they are until they're given the order to go forward and try to do something for the wounded.
So would they be making decisions in no man's land as to whether someone was worth saving or not?
They would certainly have had to make a decision as to whether somebody was worth spending the time on bringing back. Many stretcher bearers in the course of the war lost their lives trying to rescue other men. There are tremendous acts of heroism carried out by stretcher bearers who, by the nature of their work, were not themselves armed.
On that first day of the Battle of the Somme, more than 2,000 Ulstermen, Protestants and Catholics, were killed.
Just to have lived through that, carnage, to have seen all these mates butchered, to presumably have to have picked some of them up in bits in no man's land. I mean, I guess if you live through that, you just never want to go back there. It's difficult to know if I could have done it. I mean, if they'd known what they were going to, it's difficult to know how many of them would have gone quite so willingly as well. Who knows? I mean, if I'd lived then, maybe I'd have signed up along with everyone else for the jaunt of it, for the adventure of it, because I'd be home at Christmas, so it would be fine.
William returned to an Ulster in mourning. Protestant Unionist families like the Blairs believed Home Rule would falter. Surely Britain wouldn't betray their sacrifice at the Somme